Can we go on?
Mm-hmm.
All right, the plan is to restate the prompt in your own words. Analyze while you are reading. Highlight any concerns or words that you may not understand. List items you should identify in your answer. List facts and explain to support your answer. And this is the plan of the writing constructed response. So what should we write in our notes here? Annotate while you are reading. That's important to know. And when you're annotating, you are highlighting any of your concerns. You might say as you're reading, what does this mean? So on the outside of that passage, you would write that. What does this mean to me? Or if you see a word that you don't understand, you would highlight it and say, I don't understand this word. So that when you go back into your passage, you will look closer to see if you can find the meaning. Because sometimes, right next to that word when it's given, there is a meaning for that word in the passage. So that's what you're looking for. List any facts or examples that you might see, because what you're thinking about is the evidence that you're looking for in your citation, the evidence that you will be citing to write in your passage. Next, Ms. Now we're going to review the race strategy. And we're going to run through this quickly because I know you also understand. Are there any questions at this point? Does everyone understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, let's move on. In this stem, the shepherd boy, the sentence says, in a few sentences, explain what lesson the reader can learn from the shepherd boy. Use updates from the story to support your response. As you can see, it's a pretty short passage. On your GMAS, you may find that your passages will be a little bit longer. But what you're doing as you're reading, you're going to look for key words. You're going to highlight any words that you don't understand. So, who can I get to read this right quick so we can move on? Keith.
The shepherd's boy was tending his flock near a village. And though it would be a great fun to trick the villagers by pretending that a wolf was attacking the sheep, so he shouted out, "Wolf, wolf." And when the people came running up, he laughed at them because they believed him. He did this more than once, and every time the villagers found that they had been tricked. But there was no wolf at all. At last a wolf really did come, and the boy cried, "Wolf, wolf," as loud as he can. But people were so used to hearing him call that they took no notice of his cries for help. And so no one came to help the boy, and the wolf attacked the sheep.
Okay. Next slide. As an example for the restate, the prompt was, in a few words, explain what lesson the reader can learn from the shepherd boy. In the restate, all we're doing is restating the question. We're taking out the what part, the part of this sentence, this statement that makes this question, that makes it a question. And that would be what lesson. And so the answer, as an example, in the story, the shepherd boy and the wolf, the reader learned a lesson. In the story, the shepherd boy and the wolf, the reader learns a lesson. Restate. Next, please. An example of the answer. In fact, the lesson teaches a strong moral value for living a good life. That will be the answer to the statement. Next, please. In citing, I chose 3 key points from the reading. It would be great fun to trick the villagers by pretending that the wolf was attacking the sheep. They believed him. He did this more than once, and every time the villagers found they had better tricks, that they had been tricked. So all of this was evidence showing that a lesson, this boy tried to trick these people, and the lesson was learned. These are the evidence to show what he did to try to trick them. And in my explanation, which is the last part, Mr. To explain. And you have to put this in your own words. This is where you elaborate. This is where you reach from within your background knowledge about stuff. And you pull it into an explanation. And in this example, the evidence also show it is better to tell the truth than to tell a lie, because lying causes pain such as anger, sadness, hurt feelings, or disappointment. The lesson in this story reminds us that lying never pays off, and it is always better to tell the truth. That is a summation of what we said in the restatement, the answer, and the citation. And it all comes to bringing it to one key point. And in our constructive response, we will put all of these together. Next, please. Now, just to remember the steps. Restate the prompt, answer the question, cite the evidence, explain the evidence. Okay. Move on. Remember, why is it important? Let's go back to the central question. Why is it important to have strategies to use when approaching short answers or even an essay question? And the answer to that would be to be able to respond with a correct or better answer to a constructive response. So in your notes, you basically have what you need in order to understand a constructive response. Now let's go to the exit ticket. Here we're going to review what we just went over so that you will have the correct answer, and when you give me this, as you exit the room, you automatically get a 100. Is that okay? Okay, good. Can someone read the first question off the exit ticket? Stephen.
When is the race strategy appropriate?
Can anyone tell me that? Yes, Stephen.
The race strategy is appropriate when you are writing an essay or extended response.
Very good. Write that in on your exit ticket. When you are writing a constructive response, a short answer, or an essay. Okay, Emily, can you read number 2 for me, please?
Give the meaning for each component of a constructive response writing strategy.
Can you give me the answer?
Restate, answer, cite evidence, explain.
Okay, restate, cite evidence, and explain. Thank you. I forgot the answer. So tell me again. Restate, answer, cite evidence, explain. Thank you, Emily. Very good. And I'm glad you caught my mistake. Can you read number 3 for me, Nick?
During the side step of the race strategy, what are you to do?
Can you answer that for me? What are you doing during this cite evidence? You have your problem here, yes.
Yeah, read and search text, find the least two supporting details will improve your answer.
Very good. Is there one more that you need to say?
And then you write it into your response.
Very good. So you are to pick out evidence, cite the evidence, and make sure that you put it in your quotation marks. Can I get a volunteer for the last question on this test? Yes. Thank you.
During the explain step for the race strategy, you are to do. What are you to do?
Okay, what are you to do?
You are to explain your evidence and how, you are to explain how you got the evidence from the article to help better answer the question for the article.
Can someone else help him? Emily? Very good.
Explain how the evidence in the text supports your answer.